gonna be driving something really, really cool. We will be driving this 2024 Tesla Cyber Beast.
So Preston, if you couldn't be a recruiter, what would you do for work?
Kind of like you don't even need to hit the brake.
Getting a whiplash here.
Sorry.
Can you automate everything?
Craziest recruiting story. One definitely comes to mind. It was this. He gives me a call and he goes, yeah, so they laid me off.
Now, what do you think the recruiting industry will look like in 5 to 10 years from now?
And they said, oh, the fee? Like the contract? We're like, yeah, like.
Welcome back, guys, to another video. As you can see, setting is quite different. I'm here, but behind the camera, we got Mr. Ryan here in Las Vegas with the team. We asked you a bunch of questions. You guys got back to us with great responses. So we thought it'd be really cool to do a little Q&A video, get in the car, drive around and answer and share with you some of our thoughts. But today is pretty special because we're gonna be driving something really cool. We will be driving this 2024 Tesla Cyber Beast. First time. This thing is absolutely epic. Got like a sparkling brown glitter wrap. Can't wait to go for a ride. Let's do it. Guys, we're inside the Cybertruck. Look how sick it is. You got this massive screen here. I mean, check out this steering wheel. This is so wild. You got Alcantara everywhere, spacious. Ryan, I mean, do you like it? It feels comfortable for you?
It is, yes, huge.
This thing is awesome. You see that Cyber Beast right there? We're not messing around. Woo! All right, enough fun. Let's get to the questions. I'm gonna drive really slow just around here.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
So Preston, what's a day in the life look like?
Good question, guys. A day in life with me during the week is pretty boring. I wake up typically around maybe 5 or 5:30. I'm here on the West Coast, but we work East Coast hours. I make my matcha green tea. I check my emails, maybe catch up on news a little bit on YouTube. Then I basically start my day with the team. We typically have team stand-up meetings around 7 o'clock my time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern, making sure everyone's fully aligned on what to do that day. And then I'm working very closely with two teams, the recruiting team on our agency side and also the recruiter school team on the educational consulting side. And basically I would just be sitting on my butt, staring at my computer for hours and hours of end, doing meetings and calls all day. On a typical work day, I would say I'd probably finish around 2 or 3, which is roughly around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern, after which I'll either go for a swim, go for a walk, go for a hike, decompress, and cook up a good dinner, chill a little bit, and go to bed by like 9:30. The weekends we have a little bit more fun, maybe watch a show or something, catch up with friends and family. But I really like to have a really good routine every single day, waking up, going to sleep, getting some good Z's in, eating some good food so that every single day I can be on my A game. These product manager guys, they're the ones in the weeds, coming up, ideating, testing, and launching. And I think that's one of the coolest things that you can do. Are you struggling with getting responses from clients? Are you an established recruiter who is struggling to break 6 figures and beyond? Are you looking to start recruiting part-time and you don't know how? Do you feel burned out and stuck spending hours and hours each day in manual tasks like sourcing and outreaching and feeling like you have no time to actually run and grow your business? I am absolutely happy to announce that we have launched our own recruitment, educational, and coaching program to help you on your journey. We made sure that everything I've learned in the past 10 years, the tips, the strategies that really helped me build multiple 7 figures of placements on my own desk with some of the best companies in the world will be included in there. We'll also be including things like how you can build an acquisition system that brings in clients every month to your agency hands-free, how you can maximize the probability of a positive close during negotiations, how you can automate and outsource your day-to-day operations so that you don't have to spend hours per day researching or sourcing, how you can figure out the new and modern way to scale your agency that minimizes risk and maximizes your upside potential. And we've also included much more. The best thing about this is not only will you be getting amazing content, but we will also handhold you and be with you every step of the way to make sure that you are held accountable and you crush your goals. We'll also share with you our own tech stack, tools and plugins we actually use, plus everything else we know about automation and AI to help you save time, work smarter, and not be a slave to your business. The exciting news is that we've actually rolled this out to a select few people earlier this year, and I'm excited to see them well on the way to multiple 6 figures, with some breaking $30,000 to $50,000 per month already. So if you're interested to be a successful recruiter that can dominate in any market conditions, make sure you click on the link below to chat with another member of our team, and we're happy to chat with you to see if we can help you out. Make sure you jump on this really quickly. See you on the other side.
So Preston, if you couldn't be a recruiter, what would you do for work?
When I became a recruiter, guys, I focused in technology, and that gave me exposure to a lot of really cool different career paths I could have done if I wasn't a recruiter. And so I want to answer this in two ways. The first is that I love marketing. I've come to really love marketing, digital marketing. The idea of being creative and coming up with these assets or ads or copywriting to really get people excited or to really kind of get eyeballs on your offer, paid ads, organic social media, that really excites me. Aside from that, product management in technology, these are the guys that their own mini CEOs in a startup or tech where they are in charge of building really cool features and products, apps, and they're working closely with the marketing team, the customer success team, the engineering team, and they just make all the cool stuff. So all your favorite tech apps, tech companies and startups that you look up to, these product manager guys, they're the ones in the weeds, coming up, ideating, testing, and launching. I think that's one of the coolest things that you can do. The second, I'm also just very entrepreneurial. So if I wasn't in any line of work and if I wasn't in recruiting, I'd probably be running another company. Again, maybe marketing related, maybe e-commerce, maybe, who knows, media, advertisement related. The world's the oyster. There's so many other areas of interest and passion I have aside from recruiting. Hard to say, but I'd probably either running another business, another company, or pursuing a pretty kick-ass career in product management or digital marketing.
Now, what do you think the recruiting industry will look like in 5 to 10 years from now?
That's a really good question. So I don't have a crystal ball, so hard to say exactly. But what I can tell you right now is what we're seeing currently in 2025 at the time of the shooting. Right now, AI, automation is really getting their 5 seconds of fame, and they're going to continue to do so. I think AI and automation is going to help us recruiters become better recruiters, help us become super recruiters. What I mean by that is every single day, what we have to do is focus on just doing a bunch of manual tasks over and over and over again. And so being able to leverage technology so that we don't have to do that, being able to rely on artificial intelligence to help us like free up time, I think that's just going to happen, and that's going to continue to amplify our efforts, where it's going to allow us recruiters to focus more of our time on actually talking to candidates, talking to clients, and focusing on relationships. So I think that's going to continue. One of the funny things is right now we get a lot of questions like, what can you automate? Can you automate everything? No, you can't fully automate a recruiter. That does not exist. But I think more and more and more things will get automated, and the things that are automated are going to get automated even better, more efficient, more smooth. We're still watching closely, for example, the area of voice calling. That's just not there yet, where it sounds and feels like a human being. I expect that to just get significantly better over time. So it's areas like this where me and my team are carefully watching like what's going to get developed and where is the industry going. But for someone who's shooting in present day right now, I don't know. And I'm also excited. I know a lot of people are fearful, concerned, understandably so, but I'm more excited on how we can utilize more technology, better technology to do our jobs better. And because of that, us recruiters can just focus more on what recruiting is all about, personal relationships, and making sure that you nurture these relationships over and over again to create many more opportunities down the line.
And Preston, what one piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own business?
If you want to start your own business, I think you just have to be prepared to suffer. And I don't mean to say that to scare you, but when you work for yourself, your baseline of stress will be a lot more elevated as if you had a regular job or you're pursuing a career. Everything falls on your shoulders, for better or for worse. So what I mean by that is if business or your freelancing is not going well, you will naturally be stressed significantly more than as if your job was going well, because you still have a stable paycheck at your job. While working for yourself, everything lies on yourself. If things are not going well, you're not going to get paid. But if things are going really well, even for yourself, you will still have a higher level of stress, because you would know that, hey, you can't take things for granted, and good times don't last forever, right? And so I think like if you're coming into business, whether it's recruitment or anything else, aside from learning the tactics, the strategy, the best practices, you got to make sure your mindset is strong, and you got to understand that this is going to be the most fulfilling thing that you're ever going to do, but also the most difficult. And when I say most difficult, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, you will be challenged on all different angles every day and all day. And as long as you can be aware of that and embrace it, you're setting yourself up for success. If you're coming to start a business thinking it's just going to be honeymoon and rosy and easy every day, you are just going to really come to a rude awakening that this stuff is hard. If you want to start a business and really enjoy uncommon outsized returns, you got to also embrace the difficult stuff, the risk, and also like the constant daily stress and anxiety that you have. And the only people that are successful right now are the ones who are just managing that suffering, managing that pain. We're just used to it. And the more money or the more milestones you hit, that pain never goes away. So as long as you can really understand and digest this now, coming into a new business, or if you've been doing it for 1 or 2 years, or you're just someone who's looking to like level up and hit that next milestone, that's gonna help you. That's really 90% of the stuff that a lot of people don't completely underestimate when working for themselves. So have a tough mind, have a tough skin, and understand that there are good times and bad times. Embrace it all as part of the journey. And boy, oh boy, it's fulfilling, but make sure you know what you're signing up for.
Ryan learns how to drive.
All right, Ryan is driving the Cyber Beast for the first time. What do you think, Ryan?
It is powerful. The braking is hard to get used to.
Yeah, the regen braking.
It's kind of like they don't even need to hit the brake.
Getting a whiplash here.
Sorry. It'll come in. Now we're good.
Wow.
I like feel the power under the hood.
So Ryan, what is one of the craziest recruiting stories you can think of?
Craziest recruiting story, one definitely comes to mind. It was this client we were working with, and they were a great client, super responsive, had some great roles. We had a great relationship for weeks and weeks. Like things were going phenomenally. And we have one candidate got to the final stages, things were looking good. It got a little bumpy in the offer stages. We had to do some kind of back and forth with the client and the candidate. And it was a little bit of a marathon, but we made it happen. The offer was extended. The offer was eventually accepted. And we were like, wow, great client, put a lot of work in here. We closed the deal. We're feeling great. And so the candidate accepted the offer. They had their start date 2 weeks later. And so, I text my candidate a few days before. I'm like, good luck on your first day. Hope it all goes well. He was like, thanks so much. On his first day, I made sure he showed up. Everything was going swimmingly. Everything was going fantastic. And so I'm like, awesome. Another placement in the books, feeling good. And then the next week, so his second week, I get a text from him. He's like, hey, Ryan, can you chat? I'm like, sure. Always happy to connect. And so he gives me a call and he goes, yeah, so they laid me off. Literally within 5 days of him starting. I was like, whoa, what? Was it did something happen? Did he do something? Did they do something? And they were doing mass layoffs at this company. It was a pretty small company too. So they were laying off a significant chunk of the company, laid off 5 days after he was hired. And we're like, oh my goodness, what does this mean? I had to work with him, help him find a new role. But the drama didn't stop there because he was like, okay, I'm looking for a new position. We were like, what do we do with the client? Based on our contract, even if they were let go for this reason, they still owed us the fee. And so we reached out to them and we got nothing back. They gave us vague answers. They're like, hey, we just had some changes. We were like, okay, that's great, but piss our fee. We agreed on this contract, signed everything. And they said, oh, the fee? The contract? We're like, yeah, the contract we signed, we agreed to. And for weeks and weeks, they were just kind of dodging us until finally the CEO sent us an email. He was like, hey guys, we're not paying you. And we were like, excuse me? I'm sorry. He was like, yeah, the contract wasn't legally valid and we did these layoffs and we're not paying you. And so we were had to get to a certain point where we were like, well, do we take any kind of legal action? And we ended up not, we didn't want to, add any drama there. But the whole story of we had a marathon to get this placement done, the candidate gets the job, and then they lay off half the team day 5, which is wild. Feel bad for the candidate. We no longer work with that client, but just a crazy scenario with that one.
All right, Ryan, next question. How did you get into recruiting?
Oh, good question here. So before I was in recruiting, I was in sales. And as we've said in this channel many a times, recruiting is sales, sales is recruiting. And so where I was working, I enjoyed the sales side of the job. I enjoyed working with people, helping them find solutions, whatnot. But I didn't love what I was selling. And so I was selling just super intricate tech that, to be honest, I didn't always fully understand. And I enjoyed the people aspect, but I just knew I didn't enjoy selling my product. And so I was thinking about, okay, what's my next step? I like sales, I like working with people, but I want to be able to sell a product or service that excites me more and that I feel more fulfilled by. And so in doing some research, I was like, whoa, recruiting is sales. You help people get jobs, you help companies fill positions, it's a win-win-win. And I was like, whoa, I can use my sales skills, but do something that I'm excited about and helping people get jobs and fill roles. And so I was like, this is perfect. And so found an opening for a recruiting position, connected with Preston, and then, the rest is history.
Next question, Ryan. What is a hot take or your opinion about what you're seeing in recruiting and all the agencies and recruiters we're talking about?
A recruiting hot take. This one might be a little controversial, but I think that something I see a lot is recruiters who just think of AI and all these systems and all these automations as a silver bullet and a replacement for having a strong fundamentals with recruiting. I think there's a lot of great recruiting tools out there, a lot of fancy bells and whistles, and they're awesome. But if you don't have a strong knowledge base and a strong foundation of best recruiting practices, techniques, and strategies, all the automation, the tools in the world aren't really going to help you. And so it's super important to know that even without all these fancy bells and whistles and tools, that you can recruit manually on your own, and you need to have that foundation to then build upon. And so if you're just starting out, before you jump into all these fancy AI tools and automations, ensure that you know how everything works, ensure that you can do it on your own, and then those automations can help you just elevate. So they're not a silver bullet, but they can be a super huge help if you have that strong foundation already set in place.
Last question, Ryan. How do you unwind after a crazy day as a recruiter?
Couple of different ways, but I think the biggest thing I do, and this is every day without exception, rain or shine, is I go for a nice walk after work. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just to get outside, clear my head. Sometimes I like to think about work stuff, kind of just close out the day. Sometimes I'm like, I gotta think about anything but recruiting right now. So just being able to get outside, get some fresh air, is just super helpful for my mental health and just making sure I can stay kind of level-headed throughout the day. Other than that, I like to exercise, whether it's at the gym, go for a run, or even hang out with friends. I know a big trivia guy right here, so every week go to trivia with my friends, or just grabbing dinner with my girlfriend or some family, whoever it is, just to be able to get some time in between logging off and going to bed. I don't like to just finish work and go straight to bed. I like to do some kind of activity, whether by myself or with others, to just clear my head, get me thinking about something else so that I can relax and be recharged for the next day.
Well, that was super fun, and gotta say, me and Ryan, we love this car a lot. I mean, it's so sick. But thank you for your questions, guys. And if you like videos like these, you want to see more just in the lifestyle videos, please comment down below. Happy to do more what you guys want, but really appreciate your time. See you on the next one.